Hello, family. Hey, God bless you. I'm so excited. This is the day the Lord has made for rejoicing and gladness. Look, we are in for a very strategic moment in our life. For as many of you that have signed up to join the fasting and prayer meeting, I salute you. I congratulate you. This 20 days glory fast, it will be defining moments in a lot of our lives. It will not just be one of those beginning of the year fasting and prayer meetings, and where God instructed for me to announce to the church that we do a 20 days fast from the 3rd to the 22nd. I did not fully understand, but then he instructed me further to say, you go first on the 20 days fast, which I did from the first day of December to the 20th day of December. But then it was one of the Sundays, I think the last Sunday or during the Christmas service in December, that it became clear to me that what God was emphasizing was 2020. So 20 days in December and 20 days in January, I did not realize it initially. But then what he was trying to say is emphasizing on that fact that he wanted us to pay attention to what happened in 2019. So 2019 is not one of those years that you just want to forget in a hurry. Because for many of us, 2019, like I said before, has become a requirement gathering process where everything that we've gotten out of that year will be implemented. Well, not everything, but a lot of the things that we've gotten out of 2019 will begin to be implemented in 2020 going forward. So we have done the 20 days. I have rather done the 20 days in December 2019 to end the decade. Now we are doing the 20 days to begin the decade. So there is a bridging of these two 20s. It's very important, very, very prophetic. We must pay attention to it. Now, the prayer points that I'll be sending out are prayer points that we don't want to play with. Look, if you've never fasted before, take your time to walk your way into it. A lot of us will jump into doing 6 to 6. But if you know you've never done that long before, you can start with 6 to 12 and then you continue to 6 to 6. Before the 20 days is over, you probably might want to do more days. It's very possible. But I believe that God has released a dimension of grace from everyone that will be a part of this. I tell you, before the 20 days is over, you'll begin to come into the group. You'll begin to give testimonies of what God will be doing in your life and your family and around you. I believe this very strongly. I feel this very strong in my spirit, and I felt it necessary to share it with us. I'll be sending prayer points. If you don't understand the prayer points, let us know. But please do read Malachi that I've sent, and then do read Daniel chapter 10. It will open your eyes to a lot of things. One of the things that we have to pray about, I've sent a prayer point already. For this season, God should open the channels of communication that are specific to us. Now, why I said it is, when God spoke to Abraham about his son, about leaving his father's house, he spoke. Right? He spoke, and when he talked about when Abraham was going to kill Isaac, he spoke to him. He listened. Now, when you look at Daniel chapter 10, Daniel was communicated his responses via vision. So the ear gate, there's the eye gate. There are a lot of ways God speaks to us. You must understand the way God is communicating to you. Now, to me, one of the ways, amongst many other ways that God communicates to me, are metaphors, which means God used things that happen around me, examples, and then I begin to see the hand and the voice of God in all of this. And it is very important. We must be very sensitive to them and pray that, God, how do you communicate with me? I want to identify it, and I want to study it. I want to understand it. I want to develop it. It'll help you not just for these 20 days, but for the rest of your life. So you will not just be reacting to activities, but you will be proactive. You will not wait for things to happen before you respond, but rather you will be the one that initiates things. You will know how to end something. You will know how to walk into something. You will know how to leave a room, when to leave a room. You will know how to talk, when not to talk. You will know what to contribute and when not to contribute. You will understand all these things, where these are things a lot of us have failed on in the past. But when you understand how God speaks to you, because God never stopped talking, like I always say, God keep communicating to us. But the problem is, like I gave the analogy of the antenna, we don't seem to get our designing right. We don't get our spirit man connected correctly to be able to understand, to grasp and to decipher, decode what God is transmitting to us. But this shouldn't be us. This shouldn't be it in 2020. Hence, we're praying with this starting the year. Another encouragement I want to give is, as you begin to pray, for as many of you that will press in prayer, I still feel that even these days, when you begin to press in prayer, praying in the spirit, your mind will begin to run through a whole lot of things, a whole lot of ideas. Do not stop. Do not give thought to them. Your mind will remind you of your bills, your family, your this, all the things that you shouldn't be thinking at that time will be coming through your mind, but ignore it. You got to keep pressing on. See what 2 Corinthians chapter 10, Paul was saying. Paul said in verse 3 of 2 Corinthians 10, for though we walk in the flesh, we are not waging war according to the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. 5. Will destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God, and take every thought, this is the emphasis, and take every thought captive to obey Christ. As you begin to press in prayer, praying in the Spirit, you are putting every thought in the captive. You're subjecting every thought that come to your mind. You're literally arresting the thoughts that come through your mind and not allowing them to express themselves and then to run you through the different places, but rather you're bringing them under subjection. All right. So I want to encourage you: do not give up. Do not think that, oh, because I don't understand what I'm praying, maybe I should stop. Maybe I should understand what I'm praying. Maybe don't allow your mind to run through all of that and then get you all confused, and then you miss out on what God is saying. It's the Bible verse I'm trying to pull up again, and miss out on what God is directing or saying to you. I think it's 1 Corinthians. It's 2 Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 14, I think. I was trying to pull that up and just show us that as well. 1 Corinthians 14. Let me pull it up. All right, I'll leave that anyway. But this is the emphasis on we not allowing our minds to run in different places, and then getting ourselves all confused in the midst of the prayer, and then we're beginning to ask ourselves, well, maybe I should stop, maybe I should not stop. As simple as it sounds, you will encounter it, but you got to press on. The Bible says, he that prays with an unknown tongue edifies himself. He prays mysteries by the Spirit. Your spirit man communicates is the most important thing. The more you press on and keep going, you find out that you'll bring your mind in alignment, and your mind will begin to interpret or translate what your spirit is praying. All right. I'm going to leave you, but I'll be dropping videos and things as we go on. Don't fail to share your testimonies, share your burdens in the group. The group is a private group, so it's not open to everybody. It's open to only the people in the group. So you're allowed to share your thoughts that you feel we can share with, the burdens on your hand that you feel you want to share, and then all the testimonies, what is happening, what you're experiencing, to encourage other people. All right, I got to go now. It's past 2 a.m. So I got to leave you all now. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you on the better side of 2020. God bless you. Bye for now.